Upon first booting Silent Hill Shattered Memories, you'll be greeted with a strange warning. The warning looks like this and says, "The game plays you as much as you play it." Well, I can tell you that's partly true, but it's really nothing more than smoke and mirrors to give you a different flavor to the usual bullshit pudding of a developer promising a wholly unique gameplay experience. During the game, you're asked some arbitrary questions about your personality, asked to take an 8-blot test, and even color in what your house looks like, but most of the changes are really superficial and don't really change the gameplay. As you can see here, Sybil looks completely different in both cases, but her dialogue's exactly the same.
You're screwing with me!
Can I see your license?
You're screwing with me!
Can I see your license?
And some things don't even work, like I think I would know if black people lived in my house or not, and oh look at this, racists. So yeah, ultimately, it's a nice idea, but it ends up being somewhat forgettable. Instead, if Shattered Memories is going to be remembered for anything, it's going to be for the way it actually did do what so many other games wish they could, and that's shake things up. And not in a small way either. This game, like its developer Climax, has balls. What else can you say about a company that's brave enough to take a franchise that's now 10 years old, has had 6 previous installments, and a fucking movie, and completely throw all that out the window and say, you know what, fuck that shit, we're starting over. Seriously, that takes some brass ones. It's also a big reason why this game jarred something loose from many existing fans as assholes, because this is one divisive game. In fact, it's one of the most divisive I've ever seen, and it's not just because it's a series reboot. No, Climax has made some interesting design choices with this game, and I think those will be the main reasons for the divisiveness. Now before I get to the gameplay, let me fill you in on the story. If you don't know, you play as Harry Mason, a novelist that crashed his car in the snowy town of Silent Hill, and in the process lost his 7-year-old daughter Cheryl. So he sets out into the snowy night with nothing but his phone, a flashlight, and his voice.
Cheryl!
The mood is fantastic from the get-go, and the dreary setting is just perfect, but we soon find out that Harry is a bit of a confused man, and from there things get weirder.
You have to run, Daddy. You can't fight them.
And weirder.
What is this place?
It's a boat. It's like a car, but goes on water.
And weirder. And at choice times throughout the adventure, you'll encounter an icy otherworld of sorts, where the only harm that can come to you in the game is found, and that is in the form of these hairless, weird, ape-like screaming zombie things that like to jump on you and just wrestle you to the ground. There is no combat whatsoever in this game, so the only means of fighting back is by slamming down objects behind you to block their path, or by picking up a flare to ward them off for a few seconds. You can stop and check your map at any time too, but without any clear path on it for you to go, it's oftentimes useless. And all of this is where the divisiveness lies. Some people will applaud the decision to get rid of the combat found in previous Silent Hill games because, well, quite frankly, it was always horrible. Other fans will say that they at least like the option to get rid of the pursuing enemies, even if the controls were a bit clunky. I'm more in the second crowd, but honestly, the lack of combat in this game by the end really didn't bother me. And I guess the biggest problem that I had with the game was that the only time you're ever in danger is while in the other world, so you're never scared of anything in the real world. I also felt there was a big missed opportunity where some stealth mechanics could have come into play in the other world, but you don't ever do anything but just run forward the whole time. And what this game lacks in the gameplay department, though, is made up for in the storytelling. This game has one of the most mind-bendingly awesome, well-told stories I've ever seen in a game, period. And that's why I think it might be the first game that I ever call a must-see. The game is short, about 6 hours in length the first time through and half of that the second, so you can literally play through it multiple times to see the different endings without much issue. It's also an appropriate length to be replayed with someone watching over your shoulder once you know what you're doing. So if you know someone who has beaten it already and you aren't sure about playing it yourself, just watch them beat it. The story alone is worth your time. I give Silent Hill Shattered Memories a B+. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this review. You can check out my written review of this game at ControlAltKill.org, and you can actually listen to the Killcast, the podcast from Control Alt Kill, which I'm on. You can actually listen to it live while we record it on Ustream TV starting in January. So, check it out, ControlAltKill.org. Till next time, this is Fdup Don signing out.